TxStampin Sharon, bringing you a video today that is a fast video. It's a quick, beautiful card using Brusho. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, give me a thumbs up. Have you subscribed to my channel yet? If not, do so below. After you subscribe, you can hit the little bell, and you'll know the next time I upload a video. All right, so like I said, I'm using the Brusho, and Brusho is considered watercolor ink crystals. So it is a fun product to use. It is activated by water. It has, we have 5 colors. I'm going to be using the Prussian blue and the yellow. There are 3 other colors. One is gamboge, one which is a orangey yellow maybe. One is a red, and then the other one is a green. So they don't match the Stampin' Up! Colors per se, but they blend so well. Like I put my card on Pineapple Punch. I think it looks really well with that color. So here's a close-up of the card. And like I said, super simple. Can't wait to show you how I made it. Here's the Dandelion Wishes. Again, those bolder sentiments that are bigger. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm getting older. I just prefer the bigger fonts. I don't know, we won't talk about age, so we'll just keep it at that. All right, you want to have paper towels, and I have 3 layers to protect my surface because I have a little water bottle here. It was an old Stampin' Mist bottle, and I wrote water on it. I will be spritzing water on the shimmery white cardstock. You either want to use shimmery white cardstock or watercolor paper. I prefer to stamp on the shimmery white versus the watercolor, so that's why this is always my choice. I'm gonna go ahead and, let's see, do I want to, yes. I'm like, do I stamp first? Because I've been playing. I'll show you my other card that I played with. So I prefer to get my paper wet first and then sprinkle on. And I always start with the lighter color, whether I'm doing watercoloring, whether I'm doing Brusho, always start with my lighter color first. So I'm going to sprinkle on the yellow, kind of holding my paper down a little bit. Yeah, that's not working. We want lots of yellow. All right, and some of my yellow got up into the blue area. That's okay. It's all going to be pretty. Every time you make one of these cards, they all turn out different. Don't think you've made a mistake because there's no such thing as a mistake. All right, so now I'm going to hold it down again. Kind of flatten that out. And then I'm going to activate the crystals with water. So I got more of the blue down below, but again, it's okay. I'm going to add some more yellow. I sure hope that you have tried to play with some Brusho because to me it is just gorgeous. I love it. All right, now that's running down, so I'm going to help it go back up some. I don't want all that blue in the bottom. And you will find that the paper starts to curl. It's okay. I like to just take my paper towels and try to get off the excess that pools on the sides and on the top. I don't know if y'all can see that. There's like a pool. So just going to kind of dab that lightly. I don't want to take off too much color. There we go. All right, let's see if we can help this flatten out a bit. Now, typically you want to let this air dry. However, we are going to go ahead and use the heat tool. All right, so I'm just flattening it out a little bit. I can move my paper towels out of the way now. And now I'm going to ink up my stamps. I love the fact that even though the paper is curled up a little bit, I can kind of work it back down a little bit with my hands. Paper is so forgiving, and sometimes I think we forget that. All right, so I'm going to start off with this stamp, and I'm using the craft white because I found that I got a bolder look with the white versus say using Versamark, okay? So I'm going to stamp once, holding it down to let that ink get into my cardstock. And I know it's hard to see on camera because it's white and it's not real bold right now, but we'll fix that. And now I'm going to take this other one, and this is kind of a blowing of the dandelion. And I noticed the stem wasn't very long, so I had to kind of adapt. So I'm just going to kind of come in where it meets one of the ones below. There we go. And then we have our sentiment. Now, I know you've noticed that I don't have my labels on my blocks. Sometimes some of the labels will stick to the blocks just fine. I don't have much luck with it. So my little tip is I have my initials just with a label maker on the bottom of my block. And so since this is words, I want to make sure I don't stamp them upside down. So I have it on the block to where I know that this is the bottom because that faces me. Make sense? Okay, since that's a little bit lighter over there, I think I'm going to go more over here because it really is pretty. It's such a stark white on the blue. Okay, now we need some embossing powder. Kind of flick that off. And now we're going to heat set again. As you can see, my paper is really curly and all of that, but it's okay. I will show you my trick to get it to all lay down and behave when it goes on my card. You can also tell that the yellow is not as bold as the blue, but it's still really pretty. I hope that y'all can see that. Okay. I'm gonna bring in my favorite, my silicone mat. And normally I tell people that they don't need a ton of snail to hold a layer on a card. But in this case, because it is curling, we want to make sure that we get it really good. We put a lot of adhesive on there to keep it on our card where we want it. I'm going to put 2 rows of snail all the way around. Really catching the edge because that's what will lift up. And now I have my pineapple punch, and I'm gonna have to really, I hope my head doesn't get in the camera, but if it does, I apologize up front because I have to really get on top of it and help guide it down the page so that I don't have any buckles. There's a lot of adhesive on there. Now, another trick, or another tip rather, you should take a paper towel and just kind of rub, because you may not have gotten all of the crystals dissolved with the water. And there's just a slight bit. I did pretty good, but sometimes there's a lot more. Okay, so my card is kind of warping a bit. It's very easy just to get it to flatten back down, and that looks really good. I told you I would show you my other attempt at this, and what I was trying to do was do it in black. But as you can see, you can't read the words really well. So that's when I pulled out my white embossing powder, and I was a lot happier with it. Easy, bright, beautiful. What more could you ask for? I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to spend it with me.